the point of them sitting down here now, their faces do not indicate any sort of nervousness. They could very well be a big part of the bamboozlement to take place here with the international flavor.
I mean, they're up against Kamaman and Avery, right? I feel like this could go really well for one of these duels. It could be really messy. I mean, what do you think, Vivid?
Over at the Rave Cave. Listen, I think, you know, ultimately Kamaman and Avery are going to be comfortable over there, right? They did win an FNCS from this POI, and of course, you know, Zygu is landing on the outskirts of that, so I don't even know if they're going to take it into those early fights. But again, as the games develop, if they start to struggle on Storm Surge in the later parts of the game, they might want to start taking that early fight.
But there is usually enough space surrounding Rave Cave for duos to not necessarily have to look for those early engagements if they don't want to. And you also have to keep in mind that they're not the only ones that are going to be landing there. There's also going to be Thomas HD and Tripper. That is a notorious favorite spot for them to go, is that south side of the Rave Cave. So curious to see where exactly these zones wind up actually taking these players and how their encounters might actually shape up.
That's right. There is a duo here that is quite terrifying. You know, out of Brazil, not a big deal. The fans of them are up here in the audience. It's King and Ed. I mean, if you... the crazy thing is, King is one of the most winningest player. I mean, the crowd's already going crazy.
There it is.
One of the most winningest, one of the single-handedly craziest mechanical players you will ever see in your life. But when you pair it up with just stopping power, which he also has by himself, he is a one-man army.
Yeah. Listen, of course, King representing FaZe, and shout out and congratulations to Ed. Recently, just days before the event, signing the Team Liquid. Amazing opportunity there. You can see him drip out in the jersey, showing it off here at the Invitational. And what I love most about this is that, you know, again, we're here in person, right? So we can go into the practice room, we can kind of see what's going on. King and Ed, 2v2 matches, almost day and night, in and out. And listen, they were dominating players from every single region.
But the sheer presence that you have as an international player, and I'm speaking about King here, because the fact that he actually has audience members with signs of his name at an NA-based venue, that alone speaks volumes for the kind of impact that he has had on the Fortnite scene.
These guys are uncontested. We already know what this means for everybody else. It means they're going to get a free pass into the mid-game. If they are allowed this opportunity, what the heck is everybody else going to look to do to try and stop them?
Nothing. 12 games of pure aggression from King, and that's what it means. Just straight up, nothing else.
And also just a really quick note there about Ed. He has been steadily improving with each of his performances throughout the entirety of Chapter 3. So if the momentum kind of keeps going in that direction, again, I don't think that international gameplay is going to disappoint by any means. These guys are amped up. They are ready to showcase their representation for their regions.
That's right. We want to come on over back to NA. We got to talk about Fams and Snacky, an iconic duo, to say the least.
Pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. That's pretty right.
Only, you know, 2 FNCS wins just in this chapter, followed by 3rd place, all that, you know, and the aggression from Tilted Towers. I can tell you right now, you know, watching some of the Elite Cup games, they do not like to leave Tilted Towers without at least trying to find a fight. And I think that's going to play into the part, right? Some of the other players laying at Tilted Towers might not be expecting, you know, maybe they came into this like, oh, we're going to split it. No.
All right. So now we're going to go into the actual game to get a whole, like, different POV. Did I not start?
Before we start the Battle Bus on its journey, I wanted to highlight another duo, Cammy and Seti, right? For you longtime EU fans as well, you know these guys recently just won a DreamHack. They've literally came in first and second place in a solos competition. They were the best 2 players at the tournament.
You know, and the thing that I love about Cammy and Seti is that individually, they kind of remind me of myself, right? That really slow, methodical game play style. They're not going to go for anything too flashy, anything too risky. They're just going to play their game out and play that top 10, top 5 consistent every single game because they are laying at that mid-map spot uncontested.
Yeah, the infamous Cammy split, as everybody in EU and just about the world has basically come to know. Exactly, but I am curious to see how their surge management actually unfolds throughout the entirety of Chapter 3. I don't think that they really had too many issues with it, but it is important to note that for this duo specifically, they don't really like fighting early, and well, fortunately, having an uncontested drop spot can definitely feed into that. So naturally, you want to wonder where their points are going to come from or where their surge management is going to come from. And I think that that is something that they're largely just going to have to control throughout their mid-game.
Yeah, they also have to be very, very careful when they're landing there in the center of the map. There are a lot of teams landing around them, especially, you know, we think about Tilted Towers right to the left of kind of where they're landing, and also center map, you know, Cold and Tendon are expected to be contested there at that loot lake kind of area. So if any of those teams kind of want to disengage from some of those early spawn fight situations, they could easily run over to the split that Cammy and Seti are looking to take and maybe gather up some loot themselves, which could force a fight. And that's really disadvantageous for Cammy and Seti because they're going to be split, right? They're at these split jobs, so they're usually off on their own.
And I think what you're getting at is adaptability, right?
Yeah.
These duos being able to moment say, we had a game plan, we did not find the chest, we did not find the thing, we got tagged, someone has pushed on our like location, we need to change up something. What does that look like, man, right? Like, if this was EU FNCS, I'm like, oh yeah, no problem, I got all the notes for you, but it's NA East, it's NA West, it's Asia, BR, OCE, you know, there's so many other regions that you have to kind of be accounting for. And not only their own meta, it's that duo, right? Like, oh, I know they're from BR and they do this. Oh, great.
I mean, listen, you're bringing up a great point there, right? Like, how? You don't have many notes on a lot of these teams because they're just around for the entire world, right? And that's why international events are held at such a high praise because they're just straight up hard. The competition from all around the world, it's harder to play against people that you don't normally play against.
And the competitive lobby metas that you'll often see break out throughout the course of each of these 12 games in this weekend, I think that that is going to be a really crucial aspect for some of these teams to hone in on. We know that these players have been cramming VOD review leading up to today. We know that they're going to be doing plenty more of it after these 6 games are even played tonight. But as far as Cammy and Seti are concerned, just touching back on them, I like the fact that you brought up the early game engagements because honestly, their all-time record, by the way, first 3 zones, they have a less than 5% of elim scoring throughout those first 3 zones. So they don't like the early game engagements.
That is absolutely crazy indeed. You know, a duo I feel like could be a dark horse in the competition. that I really want to see kind of win it all, it's Acorn and Edgy. Edgy over in NA has come second place. So close so many times. Paired up with Acorn. Look, we know this duo is absolutely incredible. They are some of the toppest caliber duo that NA has to offer. Yeah. But Edgy just hasn't been able to grasp that #1 spot. And what I feel like for me to come out of this event and say, I'll walk away with the Swarovski trophy, baby, that'd be pretty sweet.
Look at Edgy waving. What's up, Edgy? Listen. Edgy loves it, man. You know, we're laughing at him getting, you know, second place 4 times. He himself, in the last battle, look at, I wonder where he's landing. He has the picture of himself there. We've seen it a couple times now. Tilted Towers. And look, they were being real confident coming into this event. Unfortunately, they are contested by a plethora of other teams over at Tilted Towers. I really think that if they were uncontested, they could probably run away with this event. We'll have to see what happens. I still think it's possible. I think it's a little bit less likely, but I was watching Acorn, you know, yesterday, last night, even into the later night, 10, 11 o'clock. He was still VOD reviewing all the way up until then, so I love to see the practice coming out of this duo.
But it's the fact that there's 5 duos at Tilted Towers, and literally none of them are willing to budge from this spawn. They all want their piece of the pie here at Tilted Towers, and whether or not this engagement could end up being worthwhile for the duo that even walks away, because when you think about it, Vivid, there might have to be a ton of resources expended.
Yeah. We cannot forget, here they are, Queasy Vino. We talked about them at the beginning of the show, and like a circle, we find ourselves back at the beginning. I mean, what more could we possibly say about this duo? They've basically been winning everything as of late. Queasy is looking in absolute top form. Vino has been crushing it. He's ready to go.
You want to know something? So I used to be a professional player, now I'm an analyst, right? Both are very heavy when it comes to the VOD reviews. I pretty much have just done it for the past 5 years. Very intense. I love it. It's awesome. I have never watched a VOD review and been like, wow, I am impressed on the individual level. Because I've been at the top before, right? You know what I mean? I've seen pretty much everything that these players can do.
You're still first in our hearts, Vivian.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Vino, I VOD reviewed him for this event. This is an international event. I'm typically on the NAE side of things, but you know, let me dabble in EU so that way I'm prepared for this event. I'm watching Vino. Individually, like I said, I've never been impressed. I was impressed. He seems so clean. Every single action that he does, it seems like it has a purpose. And I genuinely have never seen that out of an individual player, ever.
There's a reason why he's often regarded as one of the best fraggers in Fortnite competitive history right now. And not only that, but he's got a perfect IGL to match that. Queasy is notorious for being an absolute genius for his IGLing. And I think something that I love about Queasy is that his stats also speak for themselves, because you don't go the past 7 seasons getting a victory royale dating all the way back to Chapter 2, Season 6. Without being a consistent IGLer. He just knows how to stay cool, calm, and collected in every single competitive environment.
And I love the fact that you're bringing up the IGLing aspect, right? You know, a lot of these dudes are going to be making a lot of calls. Queasy, what he is known for is his very clean, high ground takes. It just always seems so methodical and flawless whenever he does it. So it's very, very good. And that's not even like one of the most exciting parts is they always seem to find those mid-game dead side rotations that work out so well that keep them alive into the end game very consistently.
And it's kind of like having a silver bullet, right? You have Vino there ready to go. If you're Queasy, you're just thinking, okay, I need to go accomplish this goal. I'm going to point my silver bullet in the direction. There's an enemy over there I don't like. Vino, why don't you just go 1v2 them for us, and then bring their loot and ammo back and builds, and then I'm going to be up on high ground, okay? I'll see you in 30 seconds. So that's not a joke.
I'm laughing because, you know, 1v2s, right, they seem impossible, especially on the international stage. But no, like, literally, Vino, he just does it so often, and I cannot wait to get to the game.
That's right. Guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, Fortnite fans, we're ready. The battle bus is all ready. The players are on board. So let's do this. It's game #1. Here we go. It is time. Is one just big moment away from really kicking it off. All that preparation, we're going to have to put it into it. The battle bus is ready. Let's go, Jacob.
It is time. Game #1 of the FNCS Invitational starts right now. 27.
Look at the concentration on the players' faces as they start to populate onto this world. Put yourself into their shoes. Imagine the pressure as you are jumping off the battle bus here. We already know what's in store for us. It's going to be an incredible amount of action.
Okay, this time I'm actually gonna go back to lobby. Alright, let's get a chat. What the hell? I'm gonna restart my game.